one of the most powerful production two-stroke dirt bikes ever made. But here's the confusion that's been driving riders crazy for decades. DXC or MXC? What's the real difference? Here's the truth. One was built for only 1 year, the other ran multiple years, and one is absolutely better depending on how you ride. Welcome to Motorcycle Library. Today we're comparing the KTM 550 DXC and KTM 550 MXC, nicknamed Thor's hammer by the riding community. What they really were, what they were built for, and which one actually rides better. Origins and model years. Let's start with the timeline, because this is where the confusion begins. The KTM 550 DXC was produced only in 1992, 1 year. That's it. According to OEM parts catalogs and dealer listings, the DXC appears as the early 1992 variant in official KTM documentation. This wasn't some limited edition or special run. It was KTM's first attempt at bringing sidecar racing power to the dirt bike world. The KTM 550 MXC, nicknamed Thor's hammer by the riding community, was produced from 1993 to 1996, documented across multiple OEM parts catalogs and dealer records. Here's what makes this interesting. These aren't just trim levels or marketing names. The DXC and MXC are separate KTM model codes with distinct OEM parts listings and brochures. They are genuinely different models, not just the same bike with different stickers. Both bikes shared the same basic foundation, a 548 cubic centimeter single-cylinder, two-stroke engine originally designed for sidecar racing. But KTM didn't just drop a sidecar motor into a dirt bike frame and call it done. They engineered these machines for specific purposes. The 550 represented something unprecedented in the dirt bike world. This was the era when manufacturers were pushing boundaries, building bikes that were almost too powerful for their own good. And the 550 was the ultimate expression of that philosophy. The engine foundation. Both the DXC and MXC shared the same heart, that legendary 548 cubic centimeter power plant. This wasn't just a bored-out version of an existing dirt bike engine. KTM took their sidecar racing motor and adapted it for single-track use. The result was something that had never been seen before in production dirt bikes. The engine configuration was a single-cylinder, two-stroke design with liquid cooling. At 548 cubic centimeters, it was massive by dirt bike standards. Most big-bore bikes of the era topped out around 500 cubic centimeters, and even those were considered extreme. The manufacturer reported weight came in at approximately 236 pounds, according to period spec pages. That might sound heavy by today's standards, but for the power it produced, it was actually reasonable. The transmission was a 5-speed unit, which was crucial for managing all that torque across different terrain types. You needed those gear ratios to make the power usable. What made this engine special wasn't just the displacement, it was the character. This was a motor designed to produce massive torque rather than screaming high RPM power. The sidecar racing heritage meant it was built to pull heavy loads and maintain power over long distances. Design, purpose, DXC versus MXC. Now here's where the real differences emerge between these two models. The 550 DXC, being the 1992 model, was KTM's initial attempt at productionizing their sidecar racing technology. Based on period documentation and parts listings, the DXC was positioned as the more aggressive variant. The typical community and period descriptions suggest the DXC was geared toward riders who wanted maximum intensity. It was the bike for riders who could handle raw, unfiltered power delivery. The 550 MXC, produced from 1993 to 1996, represented KTM's refinement of the concept. The MXC designation traditionally stood for motocross/cross-country, and this bike lived up to that billing. Period reviews and retrospectives consistently describe the MXC as a big-bore, torquey two-stroke with a mellow low to mid-range that was particularly suitable for off-road, enduro, and dune riding, rather than high-rev pure motocross. This wasn't marketing speak. This was the reality of how these bikes performed in the real world. The MXC was designed for riders who wanted to cover serious ground in challenging terrain, power delivery, and character. Here's where these bikes really showed their personality. According to the classic Pulp MX review of the 1995 KTM 550M/XC, the power delivery was unlike anything else in the dirt bike world. The massive torque made shifting almost unnecessary in many situations. You could lug this engine at incredibly low RPMs, and it would just pull. But that same torque created some interesting challenges. Shifting was described as reluctant at best in period reviews. The transmission had to handle enormous loads, and it sometimes showed the strain. Despite the massive displacement, the engine was surprisingly mellow and usable for off-road riding. This wasn't the typical 250 or 300 two-stroke snap that could catch you off guard. Instead, it delivered a broad, tractor-like power band that was more about sustained pull than explosive hits. The power came on strong in the low to mid-range and just kept pulling. It was the kind of engine that made long, sustained climbs feel effortless. Point it at a hill, and it would just churn its way to the top without drama. This character made both the DXC and MXC particularly well-suited for open terrain riding. Fire roads, desert sections, and long trail rides were where these bikes really shine. Handling and suspension. Characteristics. The handling characteristics of both bikes reflected their big-bore nature and the technology of the early 1990s. Owners and period write-ups consistently noted that both the DXC and MXC felt stable at speed. That weight and long wheelbase translated to confidence when you were really moving across open terrain. However, the standard suspension was sometimes considered soft for hard-pack motocross conditions. Many owners ended up fitting stiffer springs to better handle aggressive riding on prepared tracks. The bikes were praised more for their off-road and open terrain handling than their performance on tight MX tracks. This made sense given their intended purpose and power delivery characteristics. The suspension setup reflected the era's technology. These weren't the sophisticated, adjustable systems we see on modern bikes. They were functional, durable setups designed to handle the punishment of serious off-road riding. The steering geometry and frame design prioritized stability over quick direction changes. These weren't bikes you flicked through tight single track. They were machines you pointed down a trail and let them eat up the miles. Maintenance and ownership reality. Owning a KTM 550 DXC or MXC meant understanding what you were getting into from a maintenance perspective. As large two-stroke singles with high torque output, these bikes required more frequent top-end checks and piston inspections than modern four-strokes. This was standard practice for big-bore two-strokes of the era, and the 500s were no exception. The fuel system varied depending on the specific year and model. Many examples used premixed gas and oil systems, while others had two-stroke oil injection systems. Checking the specific year manual was crucial for understanding the exact fuel requirements. Carburation was another critical area. These bikes used large carburetors to feed that massive engine, and proper jetting was essential for optimal performance. Many owners found that the stock jetting needed adjustment based on their riding conditions and altitude. Parts availability has remained surprisingly good for these bikes. OEM parts, catalogs, and aftermarket vendors still list many components, though some specific items have become rare over the years. The common practice for owners is to source used spares, aftermarket parts, or rebuild kits when needed. Common upgrades among owners included stiffer suspension springs, fork and shock servicing or upgrades, and adjustments to sprocket and gear ratios for more modern riding preferences. For potential buyers, the practical maintenance checklist includes checking top-end condition, inspecting the power valve system if present, examining the ignition and kickstart mechanism, ensuring proper carburetor jetting, and inspecting suspension components. Collectibility and market reality. The collectibility factor differs significantly between the DXC and MXC models. The 1992 DXC has the advantage of being a one-year-only model. This rarity factor makes it particularly desirable among collectors who appreciate unique pieces of motorcycling history. The MXC, produced over multiple years, is slightly easier to find, but still commands strong interest. Interestingly, later MXC models sometimes bring higher values due to the refinements KTM made over the production run. Market evidence shows these bikes have developed a solid following. A 1996 KTM 550 MXC sold at Mecum, Las Vegas in January 2019 for $3,850, providing a real-world example of auction value. Dealer listings for rare, low-hour examples sometimes show asking prices in the $8,000 to $9,000 range, depending on condition and provenance. However, realized prices vary widely based on the bike's condition and documentation. The KTM 550 occupies a unique position in the collectible market. It's niche collectible among two-stroke enthusiasts, because it represents the late-era, big-bore two-stroke philosophy. The last of the big bores status increases interest among collectors who appreciate motorcycling history. However, these bikes don't yet command the consistently high prices of some rare factory race bikes. Values remain moderate and condition-sensitive, making them accessible to serious enthusiasts rather than just wealthy collectors. Performance comparisons. How did these bikes stack up against their contemporaries? Compared to the 500cc four-strokes of the era, like the Honda CR 500 and Kawasaki KX 500, the KTM 550 offered a completely different character. Owners and reviewers consistently described it as having higher torque at low and mid RPM ranges. The 550 wasn't as razor-sharp for tight mix tracks as the Japanese 500s, but it was absolutely brutal in open terrain, dunes, and long power sections. The handling and suspension were sometimes better suited to open and enduro riding, unless specifically upgraded for track use. Compared to smaller two-strokes of the era, the KTM 550 occupied a different role entirely. While bikes like the Yamaha RZ 350 delivered peaky multi-cylinder power, the 550 was all about single-cylinder torque and sustained pull. The 550's role was unique in the marketplace. It wasn't trying to be the fastest bike around a motocross track. Instead, it was designed to be the most capable bike for serious off-road adventures, where power and reliability mattered more than lap time. Which one is better? So which bike actually delivers the better experience? For desert riding, woods, trails, and fire roads, the KTM 550 MXC takes the crown. The MXC benefited from the years of development KTM put into refining the concept. The power delivery was more manageable for long rides, the suspension was better tuned for varied terrain, and the overall package was more suited to the kind of riding most owners actually did. The MXC was the bike that made sense for riders who wanted to cover serious ground in challenging conditions. It was more usable for 95% of riders and riding situations. For collectors, thrill seekers, and riders who wanted the rawest possible experience, the KTM 550 DXC holds the edge. The DXC's one-year production run makes it inherently more collectible. It represents KTM's first unfiltered attempt at bringing sidecar racing power to the dirt bike world. It's the bike for riders who wanted to experience that original vision without any compromises. The practical reality is that both bikes delivered an experience that's impossible to find in modern motorcycles. They represented an era when manufacturers were willing to build truly extreme machines for riders who could handle them. The legacy. Both the DXC and MXC represent something we'll never see again in the motorcycle world. These were bikes built during an era when manufacturers were pushing boundaries without worrying about liability lawyers or emissions regulations. They were machines designed for riders who understood that with great power came great responsibility. The 550s proved that there was a market for extreme performance, even if that market was relatively small. They influenced KTM's future development and helped establish the company's reputation for building uncompromising off-road machines. Today, both bikes stand as monuments to an era when dirt bikes were allowed to be truly dangerous. They were built for riders who wanted maximum capability and were willing to accept the challenges that came with it. Final takeaway. The KTM 550 DXC and MXC aren't just old dirt bikes. They're pieces of motorcycling history. The DXC represents the raw, unfiltered vision of what a big-bore two-stroke could be. 1 year of production, maximum intensity, and a collectibility factor that continues to grow. The MXC represents the refined evolution of that concept. Multiple years of development, improved usability, and a character that made it the choice for serious off-road adventures. Both bikes delivered power and performance that modern riders can barely imagine. They were built for an era when riders were expected to rise to the level of their machines, not the other way around. If you're lucky enough to find a clean example of either bike, you're looking at a chance to own a piece of motorcycling legend. Just make sure you're ready for what 548 cubic centimeters of two-stroke fury actually feels like. Which big-bore two-stroke legend should we cover next? The Honda CR 500? The Kawasaki KX 500? Or maybe something even more exotic? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the motorcycles that change the game, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We've got more forgotten legends coming your way.